Sound really good. Yeah. Let's start with the first movement, and we'll work on that a little bit, and then we can look at some stuff in the second movement. Yeah. So, when I think about, we'll talk a little bit this later when we do the kind of the lecture time. When I think about music, I kind of like to break it down, especially with bass, but I think it could apply to other things too, into 4 categories. And to me, they're a little bit of a hierarchy of stuff that we work on. So I think tune, time, sound, and style. And like I said, maybe a little bit of a hierarchy, like if it's not in tune and it's not in time, even if you're playing, like really good stylistically, those other things will kind of sour the performance. And I think, you are doing really well on the first 2 in general. Like you've got really good time feel, you're playing in tune. I mean, there's always more refining we can do on the bass in terms of intonation. But generally speaking, you're playing a really good intonation. So I think the next level for you has to do more with stuff like sound and style. And this is true in a lot of things. As we're growing, we're trying to improve. Kind of the farther we progress, the more getting to the next level has to do with actually a lot of little things. Not like really big obvious things, but more subtle things. So for instance, what's a phrase or a section in that first movement that right now feels maybe a little bit less comfortable to you than you want it to?
Like which part?
Yeah, like we could pick any phrase to kind of work on, but what's one that you feel like, if we could work on this one, that might be helpful.
Like the last one.
Good. Yeah, let's work on that. So, with that, and this just relates to what I was talking about, because, when we play up high on the bass, it's more of a challenge with our sound, because we have to do some different things with the bow, and obviously, like our left hand is operating a little bit different in thumb position than it does in the lower positions. So, does that start on the C? And then you go D's, up to the D. So let's just take that much. So when we think about sound, what influences the sound or produces the sound for us? The bow, yeah. there's so much to think about with the left hand that a lot of times we get focused on that a lot. But really the bow is what produces the sound for us. I kind of think about it like a singer with their air. You know, there's something they have to do with their voice box to produce the sound, but really what makes the sound is the air. You know, and if they don't have enough air support, then even if everything is right here, the note's not going to sound good. So for us, with the bow, there are always three factors that influence the sound we produce with the bow. Can you think about what those might be? What can you do with the bow to get a different sound?
Play closer to the bridge.
Yes, that's one of them. So distance to the bridge or placement. Yeah. What else can you do? What else? What other factors are there? You can just take a guess. And if you're not sure, you're like, I don't know, Braun, I give up. I get you one. You give me the other two. Yeah. So distance to the bridge, that's one. That's a big one. Another one is speed. How fast the bow is moving. And then the last one is weight. So how into the string we are. And they're all kind of interrelated. If you change one, the sound is going to change unless you change the others. So for instance, just play an open D string. Yeah, good. Now I want you to stay in that same place. Go and play. Now I want you to move the bow really fast. Do you notice what you had to do in order to get the sound to still work? What did you do?
I put more weight.
You put more weight in, yes. Because especially if you're down by the bridge, to move the bow faster, you need more weight, okay? If you're up closer to the fingerboard, you can move the bow faster with less weight. I'm going to try to play up closer to the fingerboard. Yeah, and you can use less weight and have a faster bow. But as you're closer to the bridge, you have to add more weight. So let's think about this note C. You're playing that with third finger. And let's just play that note, and I want you to experiment with weight, speed, and placement to the bridge, and see if you can get the sound that you want. That sounds better to me. What did you do different than what you were doing before?
I went closer to the bridge and put more weight.
Yeah. And that's a general rule of thumb. The higher we go, because really what we're doing is we're shortening the string length. We have to move the bow a little closer to the bridge, and we have to use a little bit more weight. So now let's play. And when you go on to that D, I want you to even use a little bit more weight to try and